Hello, welcome to the ABW podcast. My name is Aaryon Williams, and I am your host. Today, we are talking about a topic that is very important to every single human being on the planet. That topic is your personal brand. How do you own your personal brand? Do you own your personal brand? Was your brand created for you? Or did you create it yourself? First step we're going to take in talking about personal branding is knowing what it is. What is a personal brand? The first part to your personal brand is connected to something very simple. Your personal brand is what you look like. Now, that's not just your hair or your complexion or your height. It's more so in the articles of clothing that you wear. It's more so in the way that you walk, the way that you talk. All of these things come down to the first step in your personal brand. What does it look like? Understanding a personal brand oftentimes represents us before we ever even have the chance to open our mouths. It's very important. So, what does that cause us to do? It causes us to focus on how we appear, aka our appearance. So, in diving into your personal brand and owning it, you must own your appearance. Now, there are certain industries and communities that have a dress code. If your brand is within that community or that industry, your appearance must resemble that dress code. Now, in honoring the dress code of your community or industry, it does not mean that you have to follow every single rule of the dress code. You can incorporate small accessories that show your personality. You can also look at cultural ways to include yourself into the look. But the core pieces must stay the same. For business, a tie, button-up collared shirt, blazer, hard bottom shoes, blouses, so forth and so on. These are a part of the business etiquette attire. Now, can you wear a certain print on your tie? Can your blouse have a little bit more fabric than normal? Yes. But you want to do it tactfully so that it doesn't cause too much attention and steer away from the impact that you're trying to create with your look. This can also be transferred into urban fashion, sports, the arts. Every community and every industry has a dress code. To fit into that community, your personal brand must show and demonstrate the understanding of this dress code. What you look like, how you wear your hair, how you walk, how you talk, is all a part of your appearance. Now, the second part that we're going to dive deeper into spawns from the tail end of the first part, which is, what does it sound like? This describes the language that goes into your personal brand, the writings, everything that comes from you that can either be read or listened to. What does your brand sound like? What are you talking about? What are the conversations surrounding you? What your brand sounds like has a lot to do with the vocabulary you choose to use. For some people, they use slang. For some people, they're very conservative in their language. And for some, they're in the middle. You have to identify how you want to represent your brand through sound, through your words. In conversation, in your command of your language, as far as how others perceive you. This is also another vital step in understanding and owning your personal brand. Know what you say, know how to say it, and know what you mean. For me, my personal brand revolves around the sound created in the community in which I grew up in. Some call it African American Vernacular English, some call it Ebonics. For me, I simply say it's the way I talk. Now, in that, I have attended college, I have read a lot of books, I've done things to expand upon my vocabulary so that when needed, I can channel it for certain audiences. But nevertheless, I am aware of my natural sound, the highs and lows of my voice. You should be too. The goal is to command your voice and vocabulary when needed. What does it look like? What does it sound like? These are the first two steps to understanding and owning your personal brand. Step 3, where does your brand live? Is it on the internet? Is it in your neighborhood? Is it at your school? Is it in your city, your state? Or is it a national brand? Your personal brand your brand exists somewhere. Understanding where your brand lives gives you more leverage in how to move your brand, how to enhance it, or make it smaller. Your brand is there for you to use as an asset in you achieving your goals in life. Everything starts from your personal brand. In your community, the way others speak of you when you're in the room and not in the room. Collectively, create the perception of your personal brand. Now, in some instances, that's positive, but in some, not so much. You may not be the best athlete, or you may not be the best academic or artist, and you may be enthralled into a community where that is the demographic. In such cases, if you like to enhance your personal brand, the first thing you must do is make sure you understand the environment, what the look is, what the vocabulary is, how people conduct themselves in this space or area. From there, you're able to build and move further, stronger, and actually have conversations redirected to what you want your personal brand to be seen as. Your personal brand dictates how others treat you as a group and as individuals. A lot of this is based in where does your brand live? And sometimes looking at it as where does your brand need to not live? Where does your brand need to move? Where does your brand need to be? In today's age, many people allow their brands to live online through websites, social media, so forth and so on. This allows for you to have a lot more control over what people see. Understanding how to translate your brand from a physical location to a virtual one is very crucial today. What is your social media presence? What is your Google presence? If someone were to take your name and to search you, what would they find? In the online platforms that are out today, your brand living online is very much a real thing. So understanding how to control your online presence as far as your brand is also another key point. Which brings me to our fourth point. Why does your brand exist? Your brand exists because you were created. The reason you were created is up to you, your parents, and the creator of all things. Some say God, I say God. But for others, they may describe him as Allah or another form of deity. In that, we must understand our purpose, our why. Me as an artist, me as an athlete and academic, became through the influences of my mother, my father, sister, and brother. Through those four people, I've collectively developed myself as all three. Finally, the last part. What is your personal brand? If you can sum that up into one word, then you are on the right path. Once again, I'm Aaryon Williams. This is the ABW podcast. Let's get started.